On your marks. Do you like this start? This voice?
Yeah, I like it. It's very, very familiar to us with the race start. We're good with that.
Did you get stressed, Joanna?
Yeah, I did. I wasn't ready for that.
It's worse with the heartbeats.
Yeah.
You know, we had no heartbeats.
Okay, we can do it with the heartbeats now. On your marks. Okay, welcome in my podcast. I'm really happy that I can have you here. I'm really, I would say, really honored that you came and you find the time to do it.
We had to, you're our friend.
Yeah, you have to, thank you.
No, thank you for having us. Very honoured to be one of your first guests.
Yes.
So thank you, Richard.
I was timing perfectly, so you can be the same time like me in St. Moritz.
Yes, just for this.
And I talked with Reese, so he really little bit fake you, so you can come here.
Oh, so it's all been a big ruse all along.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with training, just
No,
podcast.
it's these 5 weeks is about one podcast.
Okay. Well, it's important. So.
I was told there was free food, so
Food.
I'm here.
We need to cook the rice for you as well.
Yeah.
So how do you like St. Moritz?
Man, it's incredible. I really didn't know what to expect because I've never been here before, but I have a few friends that have come in previous years, and I've fallen in love with the riding here, and the running is incredible, and you just want to be outside all the time. Maybe not when it's raining, but
Then you go to the heat chamber.
Exactly. You just go to the heat chamber, but yeah, no, it's incredible, and like there's so many options. You can't really get sick of the riding or the running or anything.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful.
Is it something similar you're doing in Canada? Do you have some kind of altitude like 1800 meters high?
No, there's nothing like this in Canada, which is what makes it really cool too. You can kind of like train, but there's nothing this high. You can do some moderate altitude, but this is very unique. It's hard, but I think it makes you stronger. We'll see, I guess, in a few weeks.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, for sure. No, and it does remind me though a lot of Canada with like the forests and the rivers, and there are some big mountains out west, so you can kind of get that type of view. But this is a very, very unique place. It's really cool.
Which place in Canada would you go? Like you went for altitude training, so we can have some kind of image. Like what is the best place in Canada for altitude training as well?
There's no like if you want to do some moderate altitude, you could go kind of to Calgary, which is not far from Edmonton. But there's nowhere this high. And then all the mountains and stuff are in British Columbia, so like Vancouver or Victoria, there's all the mountains out there, but nothing like this for sure.
Yeah, that's interesting. We are lucky, right?
Very lucky, yeah. And this is, I think, my 5th time here. We don't have anything like this at home, as you know. No mountains at all, really, in Great Britain, but not too far for us to come here. And I've done 5 times now to St. Moritz, 3 times to Davos before, no, 4 times, sorry, to Davos before that. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've done a lot of time in Switzerland, and I love it. It's definitely my favourite place in the world to train. I always get a good feeling coming here. I don't think I've ever gone home not in a better place than when I came. And we've done it a lot in the run up to big races, and that seems to have gone pretty well for me too. So I think everything about this place, as Joe said, the running and riding is exceptional as well. We've got incredible lakes to swim in, but on top of that I have this nice feeling of the place because I know that I do well when I come here. For me, I just love being here.
It's definitely some kind of magic energy here. You always find, I think for me as well, like always find some extra fitness here, but also like the positive atmosphere of the
Definitely.
You go at 7 o'clock in the morning and you see already runners or swimmers.
Such an active outdoorsy place, and as you said, you just want to be outside here anyway. And it seems everybody who either comes here or lives here lives that kind of life, because why wouldn't you? The best playground in the world.
So how is the training going so far for you?
Good. I think like I said, I always seem to come here and have a good block of training and come out of it feeling better than I did when I got here, and I don't think this trip's been different to that. We've only got 3-4 days left now, but I definitely feel like I'm fitter and more ready for the big racing of the year in Tokyo that's coming in just a few weeks' time. I feel much more ready now than I did when I got here, and can't ask for much more than that. Good. You know, that's a success for me of this training camp.
Yeah. How is it for you?
Yeah, I haven't really been training that much. I've just been hiking mountains. So
how many peaks did you conquer?
About 37 peaks.
37.
Yeah, I mean there's still a few to go, but I have my eye on a couple for the last 2 days.
Don't tell Coach.
So, yeah.
He thinks she's out riding and really she's just off walking mountains.
She's just getting the summit,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I mean the higher
more
you go,
altitude.
exactly.
More
like
altitude.
I'm just accumulating altitude mileage.
You don't really need to train if you're altitude. It's
No.
just free.
You wake up, you have a coffee, climb a mountain, come back at the end of the day,
you
pretend you did lots of stuff, go to sleep.
Just take lots of pictures of your bike and running shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's all for social media. It's like
it's all on social media.
Yeah, don't believe Instagram. But no, it's been good. I was in definitely a bit of a hole when I came here, just from traveling and racing and trying to do the whole WTS series. And I don't want anybody else to come here, so I'm going to say the training here is horrible. Terrible. It has not revived me at all. I hate it. It's awful. But yeah, no, it's going really well.
Yeah. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, good. I mean, the teammates are kind of okay.
Kind of okay. How did you girls get together?
Jo stalked us relentlessly. Yeah. And then she just keeps latching herself onto us, and we're like, go away now, it just won't leave. And
suddenly she met you in, I think, South Africa.
Yeah,
that was your first camp.
Yeah, right? So we
and you fall in love.
It was love. Well, actually, the first time I spent a lot of time talking to Jo would have been at the Commonwealth Games last year.
Oh wow!
Which is kind of funny because then Jo came and beat me into third place, and she'd also had a broken shoulder just before that.
That's
so
crazy.
She'd done no swimming, barely ridden her bike, done loads of running, and then she just rocked up and got herself a bronze medal at Commonwealth Games.
It's very impressive.
It was very impressive, but we got on pretty well from that. Saw each other at other races throughout the year, and then in January, Jo asked if she could link up with a lot of the British girls who were away in Stellenbosch.
Yeah.
And again, it was a tough decision because we don't really like her, but we thought we'd give her a chance. Yeah. And she came and joined us, and after that, Jo sort of asked if she could do a bit more training with us, and whether Reese would consider taking her on as well. And again, a tough choice for him too, because and then now she's part of the furniture. So now we're going to go everywhere together.
Nice.
Basically, they fell in love with me, and now they will never get rid of me.
That's it now.
Yeah, it's been a 10-year process.
So you wait 10 years for this moment they fall in love.
Exactly. I knew it was going to happen.
You just tease them, come in. And then,
she saw my first World Series race in 2009, and she thought,
that's the one.
That's the one, yeah. I like every Instagram post. Just banging away.
Can you show it on the camera?
No. And yeah, no, I mean, I think I really last year came to notice how powerful the British team is, especially the British women. It's so empowering, and at every single race it's there's these girls and they're laughing, and you can tell they just love what they're doing, and it's so you're just drawn into it. And I mean, and all of them are so encouraging each other, and they really it seems like such a good team. And so like Vicky said, I just kind of got to know them, and then stalked them, and then begged them, and then I was on my knees and I said, please guys, take me in.
She literally wouldn't take no from that. There was a, sorry Jo, but you're not British, and then it was but please. Oh, okay, fine.
It's guys, I can
is your parents any different citizens, or are they both from Canada?
Canada.
She's probably Canadian.
100%?
I can do a really good British accent.
She can't.
Really?
Yes, but other than that, darling, I'm very, very Canadian.
Lovely speaking.
In Leeds, I didn't go to the swim recce at Roundhay because it's quite far away from the hotel, so I just swam in the pool that day. Jo did go to the swim Vicky and was hanging out with all the other British girls and going around saying, hello, I'm Vicky Holland. And I got tagged in all these photos from these photographers who thought that it was me because she was walking around going, hello, I'm Vicky Holland. I'm like, if it was me, why would I do that? Why would I walk around like, hello, I'm Vicky Holland?
Basically, I just screamed to anybody that would listen that I'm Vicky Holland, and then eventually people on the side kept asking me like, Vicky, photos!
And you're like, no way, no way.
And I
Did you do some pictures?
A lot, so many.
Really?
Like 20. Everybody loves Vicky there.
But you can't really say because they all know you from like sunglasses.
Yeah, when you've got a swim hat on.
Swim hat.
But I mean, we were in the same wetsuit as well, so yeah, we had the same.
They were like after like, if this is Vicky, why she's wearing the brown jersey?
I kept the wetsuit on and the goggles.
Yeah.
Because she's Russian spy.
I am a Russian spy. You're not supposed to say that out loud. We agreed. Rewind. Yeah, no, I love it. I mean, this team, it's incredible. I've never experienced anything like it before.
Yeah, I can say we were training together in Leeds, so I can really say like the all British team, no, also females, males, like the working attitude is just far away. It's amazing, and I teach from them so much. So I'm really. Also
well,
happy
really nice
I could train with you. Yeah,
no, it's really nice to hear from people.
It's very catchy, right? Like you want to do the same, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Just see it and
for sure, it's just like it is so empowering, and I think it's just like as an outsider looking in, it's just like this is incredible, and the culture is incredible, and you just want to be a part of it.
But it's cool to hear that because for me, being on like the inside, I feel that too. Like I feel that we have a great team and. The girls that I race with and I travel to races with and training camps with and all of that, I think of them as some of my closest friends, like absolutely hands down my closest friends in the world, and I love that I get to spend time with them and travel with them, and we go to races and as Jo says, we are there and we're all kind of just enjoying it before the race, and we're really involved with each other and want each other to do well, and that's how I honestly feel about it. But I don't know whether sometimes other people don't think it's real, you know, that they wonder whether we're kind of putting on an act to other people.
It's surreal.
But
it's
but then it's nice that you can kind of see that actually no, that's just how we are, and we are a really nice sort of knit group of people, and it works.
When I first time, I don't know if you've been on the same camp in Lanzarote when I was first time joining.
I probably was,
and I was just like, I would do anything what Reese was there as well. I would just do anything what they do. And it was like mind blowing. How much you guys training.
Well, that's what I did when I first moved to Leeds as well. I moved in with Non within my first week in Leeds. I was living with Non, and she had just become world champion then, so it's the end of 2013. And I was just like, this is brilliant, I'm going to do whatever Non does. I just do all the training that she does. And she was so fit and could cope with so much training.
Oh, wow.
And I just did all of it. And I was just so excited to be doing it. And it was great, I loved it. But I think I was pretty overtrained for a few months there.
I was for a few years. Decades.
Still not out of it now. Still on recovery from training with Alistair and Johnny.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
I was like one of the most powerful moments in like I'd say that I've experienced in triathlon was last year at the grand final, and I told Vicky this too. But it's just like before the start, and of course like the world titles on the line, and all those like British girls were just like laughing and like genuinely happy. And it was such a cool thing to see because everybody's like nervous and stuff, but then there's all these girls that are just like genuinely happy to be there and be together. And it was such a cool moment to see that from us.
It was cool for me as well because as much as I was happy to be there and I was surrounded by like my girls, I was nervous. You know, it was a big moment, but I had all these girls around me and it just felt like this is my little mafia. We're all in it together, and they all really wanted me to win it, and so just that was a really nice, calming feeling to have on the start line of
someone behind your back.
I had all these girls around me, like, we got you, girl, and I'm like, cool.
Always. Now you're gonna have lots of mafia girls behind you.
I have the Russian.
She already does. She's already one of us.
Got the Russian.
Not the
Russian. I mean, it's really cool. And at the camp that I went to in South Africa with these girls was like one of the best camps I've ever done. I can't remember having that much fun.
Yeah.
Like just playing triathlon. It was so cool. And here too, it's incredible. Like we've been here for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It feels like we've been here for a day. It's just flown by. It's been really, really awesome.
Wow, that's really cool to hear. Really.
Yeah. That's cool.
She's not sick of us yet then.
Okay, I was a little bit checking of your triathlon history. I just first would like to ask, like, I know you started when you were really 14, first triathlon. What have you done before, or what was your parents doing, or who inspired you to do triathlon?
Yeah, so I did. I think I did my first one when I was 14 or 15, pretty young. Before that, I did so many different sports. I played like hockey. I did skiing.
Ice hockey.
Yeah, ice hockey.
Ice hockey.
She's
Cool.
probably Canadian.
Yeah. Horseback riding.
It's good. It's good for glutes, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I did rhythmic gymnastics. Believe it or not, I'm a very graceful human. Yeah, I did everything. Every sport my parents would drive me to,
Really?
I did. Minus swimming, biking. Well, I did a lot of mountain biking as well when I was younger, but never like road cycling or anything. And then I got into triathlon because my aunt actually saw like an advertisement in the paper, and you could go for a week and try out this like triathlon camp. And I was playing soccer at the time. I was like, oh, this would be awesome, like fitness bump, like this would be so good for soccer, like just go train. And I did it, and I absolutely loved it. And then I did my first triathlon. It was called the Early Bird Triathlon. It was in May in Ottawa, which is like pretty hit or miss, very cold. And we did 100 meters swim in the pool, and then you had to run down these metal stairs outside the pool. And I'll never forget this, but you know when you like stick out your tongue and you touch a piece of metal and it's cold, like freezing cold? That was like you running down these steps with wet feet, and they were frozen. Yeah.
Oh, and then get stuck.
Yeah, as you run down, yeah. And then I did...
You went skin off?
Skin off, yeah.
Really?
I don't have feet
No
anymore.
way.
Just scarred from it.
Yeah. And I think the bike was like 10K, and I did it on a mountain bike on the road. It was amazing. Did some tricks.
Knowing Jo, that wouldn't surprise me. The road would have been going straight, and she'd have been going off the road and then over here, bunny
switch the
hop,
handlebars.
wheelie,
Yeah.
find me a jump. Absolutely.
And I think the run was 2.5K, but I ended up running 5 because I missed the turnaround. Anyways, I finished across the line, and I had like a rain jacket on and like pants and stuff, and I was third out of 3 girls. Dead last, and my mom was like, "Oh my god, she's never gonna do a triathlon ever again." And I was like,
"It's good for soccer."
Yeah, exactly.
It's good for a soccer player.
Focus on soccer. It's good for you. But I loved it. I don't know why. And then I just kind of kept doing it after that. So I kept mountain biking for a while. I kept playing soccer and doing all this stuff. And then eventually, when I was like 16 or 17, I was like, triathlon. That's my game. So I kind of.
So you just start a little bit more training and a little bit more doing competition in summertime, I reckon.
Yeah, in the summer, no winter triathlon.
Summer, no winter.
Yeah, I just kind of got into it. I think a big turning point for me was I won the Eastern Canadian Championships triathlon. I was like, I'm kind of a big shot now. And then I went to a Pan American Championships in Oklahoma. And it was like kind of this big race that I'd been selected for. Again, I think I was like pretty much last. But I felt like a baller because I was being selected for these events. And then when I was 18, I got bronze medal at World Championships, Junior World Champs. And that's when I was like, okay, I've made it.
I can do this.
Here we go.
Yeah. I like this sport.
Yeah. And then after that, I was like full on triathlon.
You're definitely talented, as you're saying, like in juniors, like 18 or 17, you get third. And then in under 23s, I think you get medals in Auckland first year straight away.
No,
it was 20 or 21.
Yeah, my first year of U23, I was third to Non. She won under 23 that year. Sorry, I'm not supposed to.
That's okay.
And then
feel comfy.
Yeah. And then after, I think I was 5th in under 23 as well. And so I guess as when I was younger, I did okay.
From last to okay.
Yeah. And then I disappeared for a few years. I came back.
But what was the disappear? If I can ask.
Yeah, I had a really rough year in 2015, I'd say for sure. 2014. Was 2014 World in London?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was 2013. 2014 was Edmonton.
Right. So 2013 I came 5th at under 23 Worlds, and for whatever reason, to me that was like a huge failure because I really wanted to win it.
Well, you come 3rd in Auckland, I guess.
Progression. Exactly.
Yeah. You put your expectation like step up.
Yeah, and I think for me the biggest thing at that age was I didn't really have any balance. Like I was 300% into triathlon.
Yeah.
And it was a really, for me it felt like I had absolutely failed. And I think that really transferred over into my 2014 season. Like I was not confident, I wasn't enjoying training anymore. And
you've been still training in Ottawa at your home?
I was training in Guelph. So that's where I went to university.
Yeah.
It's just south of Toronto.
Okay.
And I was coached by a coach named Craig Taylor there. He's still there. He used to run the center in Guelph. So I was going to school, running cross country, doing triathlon, kind of falling out of love with triathlon because I put so much pressure on myself and I didn't really like it anymore. And then at the end of that season, I had a ton of injuries. I had double plantar fascia.
Ooh.
And
some history here.
I was just a mess. And I actually DNF'd. I went to Edmonton. I DNF'd that race at World Champs, and then I pretty much took 2015 off.
Yeah.
And I didn't race.
Holidays.
Yeah. I was just like, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of triathlon and the person that I was, and mentally I was really burnt out. And I ended up being selected kind of last minute for Pan American Games in 2015 as a domestique for Paula Finley and Ellen Pennock. And that was like my first race back in 2015, after taking a lot of time off, doing a lot of Zumba classes with my mom.
Did you?
Yeah.
So love that. You can show some dancing.
No, I can't.
I can confirm.
I can't.
Oh, come on. For Holly, something.
I did this. This is really random, but we do spin classes in the dark. So
spin classes.
Oh. Yeah, I was really into fitness classes in my off time, but we do spin classes. And the lady that was really into it, she'd turn all the lights off. She's like, "I want you guys to picture your pain," and you'd be like cycling. She's like, "Oh, go all out!" And then you hear all these people. Yeah, it was like, anyways, okay, sidetracking. So I did Pan American Games as a domestique, and then after that, I was like, well, I guess I'll do a few more races.
How did it go? Was it motivating or it wasn't?
Not really, no. No. I remember my mom. I think I told Vix this story, but so I was very unfit. I was like pretty much just cycling fit.
From Zumba and doing spinning in the dark.
Yeah. Is that just so that you don't have to do it? That she can't tell?
Yeah, I would like just stop
and be like, man, she doesn't know.
Yeah. But yeah, I was very unfit, or definitely not anywhere near to peak fitness. And I got off the bike and I just remember being like, oh my god, I can't believe I have to run 10K now. Oh. And my mom came up to me after the race and she was like, did you forget how to run?
Oh, thanks, Mom.
Oh, thanks, Mom. Cheers.
So she can be critic, right?
Yes, my mom is definitely, she will never soften the truth. She just says it as it is. But yeah, and then after that I kind of just fell into some more racing. I did some Xterra.
Yeah?
To be gnarly. I did the Maui World Champs.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't know. How did it go?
I was 10th. I think I was about 6 hours behind Flora. But I was still top 10. Yeah. That was actually probably one of the hardest races I've ever done.
Really?
Oh my gosh. It was insane because we had like 3 days of rain leading up to the actual race.
So the technical, so much.
So muddy. And I had done the race course. I was like, this is so easy. It's not even hard. You just have to climb a lot. And then with mud everywhere, it was, oh my god. It was a nightmare.
Wow.
Anyway, and then 2016, I kind of like, started racing a bit again. Watched the Olympics. Got inspired.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Was that moment like, I'm gonna get back more serious, or
this is like,
or it was just slowly building up? Like, because 2015 was like taking rest mentally, and then 16 building up, or suddenly like it was something that switched you on really?
I just knew I needed to creep Vicky even harder. I was like, I need to press this. No,
feeling really quite creeped out about this right now. It's getting weird.
Yeah, I mean, the Olympics I think is always inspiring to watch. And I mean, 2016 for me, it was like the Olympics I always thought I could make.
Mm-hmm.
And then to watch it happen, and I mean, I didn't even really have a chance, like I didn't even make an attempt to qualify because I did not raced in 2015 really, and then 2016 didn't really, there was like some qualification spots for Canada left, but I wasn't there. And it was extremely motivational to watch because I was like, I wanted to be there. And then I think the first race that I actually felt like I was racing again was Edmonton in 2016 when it was after Rio. And I think I was like 17th or something, but I was like, I was racing. Like, when you're just like, when you're not just letting the race happen and you're in it.
You're racing.
That was one of the cold races.
Oh yeah, it was cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody had the full like long sleeve on.
Someone won it in her full outfit.
Coming from Rio to Edmonton and from Edmonton to
Cozumel. Yeah.
It's a bit of a shock to the system. Yeah. And then 20.
Sorry.
And then 2017 is when I kind of, I guess, emerged onto the WTS scene and did some more WTS racing. And
You won. You were second on the first World Cup 2017 in New Plymouth.
Yes.
I guess.
That
was like
good knowledge.
Wow. Done a lot of research here. I was second.
I'm preparing for my guest.
I like it. I want to know what he knows about me.
Everything.
All these tips.
I have a spy.
I was second in New Plymouth, and that was like huge race for me because I'd never been on a podium in a World Cup. I was second in a sprint finish against Katie's Ferris.
That's really cool.
Good company.
Yeah, good company. Yeah, it was a pretty big moment for me. And I know it's just like it's a World Cup podium. At the end of the day, I guess it's like not the hugest thing, but for me it was a really big moment.
Pretty big.
Yeah, and then just kind of that season I just ticked away and I had some pretty good races, and I came fourth in a few WTS, and I finished the WTS series in 7th, which was like huge for me. And it just kind of all started rolling together.
Perfect. Okay, back to Vicky now.
Uh-oh. Vicky. Here I am.
Vicky win. So you start pretty late triathlon, right?
I guess compared to a lot of people. I did my first one when I was 19, so
19. That's quite long.
Yeah, it is a little bit older, and especially nowadays when triathlon is so much more popular than it was then. People are doing their first triathlons at 8, 9, 10 years old. My niece and nephew are doing triathlons now, and my niece is 8 and she's doing her first ones now, and I didn't know what it was then. So
you really when did you first time hear about the triathlon?
I remember watching it on the Sydney Olympics, so I would have been 14 then.
I think that was my first time.
Yeah, I remember watching it then, because I remember. No, I've always been like entranced by the Olympics. That's always been like the number one sporting event in the world. And I remember knowing that we had a hot favourite in Simon Lessing for that event.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he might have finished about 10th or 11th. I'm not sure where he finished in the end, but it wasn't. We thought we were going to win a medal or a gold medal, and we didn't. And that was kind of it. I just remember watching the event, and that was it.
Simon Whitfield took it.
Yes, Simon Whitfield.
I just kind of sneak in there
sometimes. Take it back.
Come and get these bloody medals all the time. But after that, I didn't think anything of it. I was doing a lot of running and swimming at that age. So similar to Joe, I did all sports, everything that was available at school. And my long-suffering mother would take me to absolutely everything that I wanted to do. Cool. And for her, she always said, if we can fit it in and you can do your schoolwork, then you can go. Yeah. So, and I wanted to do everything. So as long as I had my work done, then I could go and do it. So every sport I played at school. But swimming was probably my number one sport for a long time. I made national finals as a swimmer through the age group ranks, and the same as a runner, both in cross country and track. Yeah. So I was sort of doing the two side by side. And
so you think it was pretty equal?
There was a point where I was
pretty same.
Yeah, I was very similar, and then I probably by the time I left school, I was better at running than I was at swimming.
Okay.
I was very, I guess, typical of a swimmer in that my peak was when I was 16-ish years old. But as a runner, I continued to develop. So I left school having just won a national title, whereas my swimming was probably starting to dwindle a little bit by then.
How did you handle to do swimming and running together in the same time, like in the same age?
Looking back, I don't really know how I actually did it. Again, a lot of it's down to my mum, because she was the taxi driver, really. She got me to everything. But I was probably swimming, I think, maybe 7 times a week, and then I was running about 4 or 5 times a week. Obviously, that's around school.
So would you swim before school?
Yeah. So I do probably 3 mornings a week and 4 evenings a week. There was definitely an evening a week where I do an hour and a half in the pool, and then I get out and race across town to the track, and then get on the track with all my friends. And the timings worked out quite well for me, so that I could swim first and then go straight into a track session.
Have you been the same with like this swimmer came for running? What is this?
I think
the same.
No, I think because I started off
really early, so they know you as a runner.
Absolutely. So I'd always done cross country. So my dad was actually my first run coach. So when I started swimming when I was 6 and have swum, all the way through. And then when I went to secondary school at 11, I went to like the school trials to be in the cross country team, and I won it. And then so I started racing cross country from there. And my dad had been a runner when he was younger, so he was like, oh well, I'll give you some run sessions to do. And we have a field by our house, and my dad used to be like, right, 2 laps and now 3 laps, and just set me little sessions to do. And there's a hill, and I used to run hill reps. Did
you like him or did you hate him?
A bit of both. Yeah.
Come on, Dad, this is too much.
Yeah, and especially because a lot of it he would set me and I would have to do on my own. So
really?
Yeah, because I couldn't fit it in with swimming otherwise. So I'd come home from school, walk in the house, immediately change clothes from my school clothes into my running kit, go outside, and it would either, like I said, be running around the field, or I'd be out on the road doing hill reps. And at times like that, it's pretty lonely as a 12, 13-year-old girl.
Pursuing.
Just on my own.
Like, come on, think 2016. You're gonna get that medal.
It's so funny when you think of it like that.
It's only 30 years to go. Come on.
30, God, I think I am. But yeah, you're right. It's crazy when you look at it like that, and probably building me and building my character maybe for later on. But that was my first kind of taste of trying to balance the two. And then when I started to run with a running club was probably 3-4 years later than that. And it was my mum who very gently said to my dad, maybe she could do with some friends to run with, rather than doing it all on her own.
She could get some friends also.
She likes to talk to people. So
now I understand.
Yeah. So
I missing that.
Yeah, I was very lonely.
Come on.
So I joined a running club as well, and like I said, I was fortunate that the timings worked out so that I could do it. But I mean, there were days where I would do a 5 a.m. start to go to the pool, or earlier, maybe 4:45 in the morning to go to the pool, and then swim, go to school, do a full day at school. Yeah. Then go back to the pool, do another swim session, get out the pool, go to the track, do a track session, come home, and it's probably 9:30, 10 p.m. Do some homework, shovel some food in my mouth, go to bed, start the day again. Wow. And now I look at that and I think that's crazy. I wouldn't be recommending that to teenagers, but I loved it. I didn't want to do anything else. So.
Yeah, if you love it, you don't think about it's stressful. It's enjoyable.
No, there wasn't a part of me that thought, oh, this is hard and horrible, and I don't want to do it. Because, like I said, my mum had always said, if I can fit it in, and with my schoolwork, I'm getting grades that are okay, then I can do it. Wow. So that was always the biggest concern, was okay, I've got to get the schoolwork done because I really want to go to that session.
Yes, I understand.
I wish I'd loved training as much now. I mean, I was so enthusiastic back then.
I think you need to go back to school to teach.
I think I do. Again. Yeah, I know. God, I'm lazy now.
That is really cool. Yeah. And how did it go? Like, what was the first time you went triathlon?
So I went to Loughborough University, and I went there because I'd always wanted to go there, to be honest. It's a huge sports university in the UK, and it was always what I had my sights set on. I went there as a runner and a swimmer, but knowing that I would probably want to specialise a bit more in running, and that if I was going to have a career in sport, it was probably going to be as a runner. And the year I went was the same year that the Olympics had happened in Athens. And Kelly Holmes had just won the 800 and 1500 double. For me, that's kind of where I thought my career path was going that way. But as soon as I got to Loughborough, I got contacted by British Triathlon because they're based there. One of the coaches sort of hounded me for about 4 weeks before I finally agreed to meet him and start doing a bit of training with him.
So you were not really like,
I wasn't.
I want to do this.
Yeah,
I want to do this running.
Yeah, I thought maybe I'd end up doing triathlon at some point, but I always thought it would be further down the line and when I'd had a running career or done as much as I could in running. And I definitely had a perception that triathlon was for people who weren't good enough as swimmers, bikers, or runners.
I had it,
and that was
the same.
That's what I thought about triathlon. So I wasn't really that bothered by it. And for about 6 months, I did a little bit. I rode my bike maybe twice a week, and British Triathlon were keeping eyes on me and sort of getting me to come and do gym sessions with them and a bit of cycling with them. But mostly I was kind of doing my own thing. And, and then they invited me on a training camp. And that was in April of 2005, and I went on this training camp to France. And I came back and I went, that was really cool. Like I just had I just loved it. I didn't think I would, and then I really enjoyed it. I met some new girls who were not at university yet. They were both like a year younger than me. We became really good friends. We're still good friends to this day. I've been to both of their weddings, and I met some people, like I said, who are pretty much lifelong friends on that first training camp I went on. And from there I thought, you know what, this is quite cool. And it helped that I'd been injured through running, and I wasn't quite good enough to get any support from UK Athletics. But British Triathlon were like, come here, we'll look after you. So they sort of took...
Just do some swimming
and
cycling.
We'll get you some help. So they looked after me, and I did my first triathlon later that year. But because I'd had this injury, I think I only raced maybe 3 times my first season, and the first one I could only do the swim and the bike because I was still injured. I did okay on the swim and the bike, but then had to stop. And then the first proper one I did was at London, and I qualified for World Juniors. So that was kind of a nice little tick box. I was going to World Juniors in Gamagori. So I did one more proper triathlon, went to one in Germany because British Triathlon thought I probably should do another race before I went off to World Juniors. And then I went to World Juniors actually like full of confidence, thinking, I'm going to do well here. And people have been saying to me, Vicky, you've got such a good pedigree as a runner and a swimmer, and you're going to turn up there and do really well. And I'm thinking, I'm ready for this. I was so pumped for it, and I got there and I came 38th. And I think me and Flora are 2 of the only people from that race who are still racing now. Wow. And I think Flora was a couple of places behind me as well. So, strong start from me and Flora.
I can see, like, when I was checking some results also from you and stuff, like the girls who was front of you, like they almost all of them finish, right? And is that survive just who can endure the pursuing, the training, the competition. Also mentally is difficult also for the girls.
I always say that I got asked a lot of times in interviews last year after I won the world title about I guess winning it at 32, and did I think that would it would take that long to get to that point in my career, and the answer is obviously not. As an 18-19 year old, when I'm doing my first triathlon and I'm taking up the sport, I'm not thinking, well, it's okay, because if I just hold on for 13, 14 years, I'm gonna get to the very top. But you just have to stay in the sport. And
it's super inspiring to see you last year to win. Even for me, I think, because I'm not the best and always fighting for some positions, but I can see, obviously you're a better athlete, but I can see that lots of athletes who endure, and the time will come, if you don't do always the same mistakes, you learn from mistakes.
That's it. And you've got to, if you appreciate the life that you live as well, and the journey, if you like, that you're on, without wishing to sound too cheesy, then I think that really helps.
It's definitely, I think it's more to enjoy the journey than the goals. Is the aims is there, but it's not hugely that most important. I'm looking for the journey is more important towards the goal, and if the goal meets the journey, that's the perfect way. But if not, but well, the journey was amazing.
Yeah,
so
and I think that was a really kind of key mentality that I had going into Rio. So the preparation phase that we had for Rio, myself and Reese, that we put together, we were so proud of. We had the year leading up to Rio, I qualified in the September of the year before, so I had 11 months to prepare for one race. Yeah. Which was amazing because it gave me nearly a year to just be focused.
But that's maybe even harder because it's super focused 11 months.
Yeah, exactly. So really focused 11 months, and also you're deliberately
stretching the day.
Yeah.
350 days to go.
It did feel a bit like that, and you're not focusing on any of the races that are before that in the season. So there are other people who are still trying to qualify, and different nations have different criteria. So I turned up to my first race of that year and felt awful. I think I didn't do that badly. I think I came back sick. It was in Cape Town that year, but I felt terrible. And then I went to I remember the last race I did before the Olympics was Stockholm. And the whole thing was just a struggle. Like, it was just one of those days where you just feel like you're battling the whole day. Yeah. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel fast on any of it. And I had 7 weeks from that point until the Olympic Games. And we knew we were coming here, our happy place. And
horrible.
Horrible place. Horrible place. And we just got everything right. We had a plan, we really stuck to it. Myself and Reese, and at the time our run coach Malcolm as well, were really heavily involved in planning that phase. I made a couple of what I think are quite critical decisions, like I decided not to go to British Triathlon's holding camp in Brazil, in Pirassununga. I decided not to go. I went back home after the camp here for 2 weeks and finished off my preparation back at home in Leeds. And I got on the plane to go to Rio, and both me and Reese, I think we had this conversation like the night before I went, of we couldn't have done anything else. Like, we've just had the best preparation. We've done everything we could do. We know you're as fit as you've ever been, fitter than you've ever been. And no matter what happens, whether you win or you come 10th or you come last, you know that you've given everything and it's been great.
That is the best feeling
and
you can be on the start.
Oh, it was the best way to go to an Olympic Games. I remember getting on the plane just excited. Because I'd watched as well so much of the games at home, because we raced so late on in the Olympic Games. We were the last day, or second to last day. So I was watching people at home win medals, and I wasn't even on taper yet. So I was still training really hard. But that just, every day we won more medals and we won more medals, and the sort of the excitement level built, and this feeling of, well, if they can do it, then I can do it as well. So off I go, off to Rio, try and win a medal. See ya! And it was just great.
I remember exactly when we were running around the lake here, and we were talking like, you going home, you change your mind, and it must be huge to have a confidence about your process, like to change your mind, and you don't just like follow, like we were going for the heat preparation, and you decide for you it will be better. Why was this, if I can ask?
I just think that I'd been to the camp in Pirassununga. I'd been there the year before. So there was only 3 of us who went the year before to kind of trial it and see what it was like. And I remember I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't find the training that inspiring there. Okay. I think we were there for about 8 or 9 days, and
it's more work.
Yeah, I was sort of counting down the days when I was there. But I'd always thought I kind of had to go, because I thought it was, it is British Triathlon's preparation. We are going to this camp. And it was while we were here that I actually found out that not everybody was going. So I knew that Helen Jenkins wasn't going then. So that was the first kind of spark of, okay, well, maybe I don't have to go to that camp. I'd done all my training with Reese at this point. So Reese, as you know, is my coach, but at the time was, as much as anything, a training partner. And he was doing every single session with me. I knew I'd be going off to that camp without him. And there was just something... I felt comfortable going home. I wanted to be at home during that phase. I thought that would be the best place I could do it. I knew I could get heat preparation as well at home, because we had access to a heat chamber. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I don't think there is a really good reason for me to go to Pirassununga.
You felt more confident to stay at home.
Yeah.
The place you know where you know all the training.
Exactly. In my own bed with my boyfriend, my training partner. You know, all of that.
Sharing the same.
Yeah. I can stay here and get everything.
And maybe the stress would go away from it because you already lived there.
The minute I made the decision that I wasn't going, and I was really fortunate as well because all my flights were already booked, that British Triathlon changed my flights for me and said that I didn't, they agreed with me that I didn't have to go. And I'm just really lucky that I have a federation that supports me in that way, and
really
it was
cool.
that was willing to do that. But the minute that it all got approved, there was just this relief of, oh, that's good, I feel really good about this decision, and I knew instantly it was the right thing to do. And I think it paid off.
yeah, definitely. It's always about, like, I found it's not sometimes I saw with Alistair and Johnny or in the training, like if you believe on some progress, like it's not important if it's 100% scientifically proved that this is the best decision to do, like if you go from altitude 10 days or 8 days or 14 days, but if you literally believe in that process that this is the best thing for you, is actually become the best process for you.
The brain is very powerful.
Is it?
That front.
It's crazy.
I agree. Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. And then, so this happened 2016, right?
Yeah.
You get bronze medal, which was a huge thing. I remember to be with you in London.
Yes.
Yeah. So would you thought in London that you can do medal 4 years to go?
I think the answer to that is both yes and no. So the build up to London for me was very much, 2005 I did my first triathlon, 2006, 7, 8 I'm pretty much in the wilderness, I'm not really doing anything. I'm training, but I'm a student, and really I was a student first and a triathlete second, and probably the opposite to Jo, where Jo said she was fully invested in triathlon at quite a young age. I was the opposite. I was living life as a student and kind of doing a bit of triathlon. And it was out of university, once I was out of university, that I started really investing in it again. And that was in 2009. I joined an international group under Darren Smith, who was the coach at the time, and he turned me from someone who was coming last in races at national championships to someone who very quickly was coming in the top 10 in World Series and vying for a position at London 2012. And I'd known I remember where I was when they announced that London was going to get the Olympic Games. Because no one thought London was going to get it. Everyone thought Paris was going to win it. And London won it. And I remember I was sat in my friend's flat and we were just like, no way. The Olympic Games is going to be in our country.
So and then, you thought went for your mind, I have to go there.
Yeah.
I have to.
It was like, and if it's
rolling, BMX or triathlon, I have to be there.
Yeah, I just started triathlon. I think I'd done my first race by that point, but I just started training with the triathletes, and it was like, I'm going to be of an age where that would be right. I'd be 26. I can go to I can go to the Olympic Games then. So then begins the project, if you like, and qualifying for 2012 was hard. I wasn't quite at the point where I could qualify outright. I wasn't a medal contender, but I did get selected as a domestique for Helen. And being selected to a home Olympics is something that I always said after London, that even if I go to another Olympic Games and win, it won't have the same feeling
build up
as London. And it's one of the times I think I'm probably most proud of being British was when we hosted the Olympic Games, because I just think we did such a good job. Like, I think we get stuff wrong, but I think we did a really good job of the Olympic Games. And I think there was a lot of boo-hooing beforehand, it's not going to go well, and there was loads of stuff in the press that it was going to be a failure, and it came about and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing, and I loved it so much. And even though I didn't have the race I wanted, I was involved in the big crash that went down on lap one on the bike in the girls' race. But it was still unbelievable. It was still just the most amazing experience. And I remember thinking, I want this again, but next time it's for hardware. It's not for the experience. So London was like my Olympic experience, and Rio was, I'm here for business. I want to win a medal. And the sort of process in between was, okay, well, how do I get from here to here. And I'd done a lot with Darren to get to the point where I could go to an Olympic Games, but I think both of us felt like for me to move on another level, I wasn't going to do that with him. So it was after the Olympic Games that I left that squad. And spent a year kind of trying to find my feet a little bit, what I was going to do next, and then moved up to Leeds at the end of the following year, 2013. Pretty quickly started improving, taking on all that volume, as we said. You just get stuck in, you do whatever they do, you just go, these guys are the best in the world, I'm going to do it too. And yeah, even in 2012 I thought I could be better than I was then. I didn't think I'd reached my ceiling. I didn't know at that point how I was going to get there, but I thought that I felt like there was more to come. And yeah, like within not long of being in Leeds, starting to see pretty big improvements just gave me the confidence that I was doing the right thing for me, and that method of training was what I needed. And yeah, I started winning stuff.
That was the journey.
That was the journey, yeah. I remember talking to some friends on a bit of a drunken night out after London and saying that I wanted to go to the Olympics and win a medal.
Wow.
And it's funny because that friend has since contacted me and been like, you told me on that night out that you wanted to win a medal and you went and did it.
That's great.
So it was a drunken statement, but at least I actually did it.
It's kind of thing like, if you have back in your mind and you have that confidence, something about it, and you're very like naturally confident. It's not like overboost or under, you know. Yeah, it's good. You know?
You've got to have a bit of confidence in yourself, I think. Otherwise, you can't fake it forever.
You have. I would start talking about. You have both some kind of a history with the injuries, right?
Doesn't everyone?
It's also the same. But what is really interesting about you both, like you always come really strong after injury. Like you crashed before in Abu Dhabi this year, right? And you came your first podium on the World Series, and last year the same for the Commonwealth Games. That is really inspiring also and incredible.
We keep joking that we're going to break her arm before the next major event.
I don't know if it's a joke or not. That's the only thing.
I'll let you wonder.
Just give me your hand.
Yes. What's that hammer in your hand, Vicky? Nothing. Nothing.
Look away.
Give me a...
Now you go conference.
It's for your own good, Joe.
No, I think there is something to be said just about the type of personality that it takes to stay in this sport, and I think it is something that carries over with injury. Like you're just pretty determined to come back and like keep knocking your head against that wall and figure it out. And I think it's just like triathlon is such a puzzle, and it's like we joke about it, but you have to be like pretty crazy to do it.
Yes.
And you just. There's like I think it's like with all successful triathletes, there's this determination and this belief within them that they're capable of doing amazing things. And I know for me, every time that I've had a major injury or broken shoulders, which seems to happen quite often, you just kind of are just you're determined to. It's not even. It's for yourself. It's for the people that support you, and you want to come back stronger.
So can I ask, the both crashes was more about your shoulder and collarbone, or?
Yeah. So
Is it affect mostly your swimming?
Mostly my swimming.
Yeah.
Which is good because I'm naturally a fish.
She's gifted. Truly gifted. In fact, I would like to see you two race each other because I think that
it wouldn't even be a race though.
Yeah. I might have to give you a head start.
Yeah.
We'll do it tomorrow.
I just don't want to embarrass you.
Lots of people did it before.
Yeah. But yeah,
I'm okay with that.
I've now fractured my greater tuberosity in my shoulder twice.
The same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
In Abu Dhabi, both times.
Both times.
On the same shoulder.
Same shoulder. Yeah, same one.
You need to learn crash on the other side.
Balance. When I break her arm, I'm going for the other one.
Yeah. I'm glad we've decided that already. This one needs a break, I think.
Not that
but last year
she already marked it.
Marks the spot.
I keep waking up with these markers on my shoulder. I have no idea what's
you call this alien, but that was Vicky in the night.
I creep in with my permanent marker.
But yeah, in 2018, last year before Commonwealth Games, is actually much worse. I crashed in the tunnel in Abu Dhabi, and I was going quite fast. So I also tore my supraspinatus. So there was a tear along with a fracture, and I couldn't lift my arm for like the better part of 3 weeks. And then this year, it was just a fracture, you know, simple, straightforward. So I was actually, I think I did 2.5 weeks of one arm swimming, and then I was good to go. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit painful, but going back to the whole crazy thing, you just kind of.
Yeah. She sent me a message about 6 days after she broke her shoulder. She's like, so I did some swimming today. I'm like, but you've got a broken shoulder. Yeah, it was quite painful, but it was fine.
It was fine. Yeah, I did a good 5K.
Yeah. I think you actually did swim about 3K on your first day.
I did.
With one arm.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can tell,
what
but
have you done with the other one?
This right arm is like fully jacked.
Jacked.
I just went, you just kind of drag it by your side and be like, every once in a while you give it a little flick for feel.
Just for feeling, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you reckon about that as a pro swimmer? Just a little bit.
It's very important.
Yeah, okay.
I'm also really good at fins. Yeah.
So kicking and stuff. Snorkeling.
Kicking is a forte.
You are pretty good at kicking.
Did you use lots of snorkels?
I love snorkels. Yeah.
She does.
I do. Snorkels, paddles, one arm.
Every session.
Paddles with one arm.
One arm paddles, yeah.
One arm
Can't you
paddle?
tell? This arm is like quite big.
Quite big, at least quite a lot. So
yeah.
So gully.
Yeah. So no, I just got creative, you know.
Yeah.
Keep the feel.
Just keep the fitness and feeling and keep rocking, right?
Yeah, and I didn't have any expectations either. I think that's the other thing that.
Before commies.
Yeah.
Could you run straight after, like maybe a week you have to take off, or?
No,
like?
I ran over 100K my first week.
Oh really? You just like
yeah. Exactly. That's what I look like. Not sure what happened.
She wasn't using either arm to balance.
Not sure why my head.
What's wrong with you, Joanna? I'm okay.
It's only fine.
Oh, yeah.
See you at the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I didn't have a cast. Well, no, I didn't have a cast or anything.
No.
I don't
Can't
know.
really cast a shoulder, can you?
But could you like use your?
Do bicep curls every day.
You have to be like straight down.
No, I could run. I kind of ran with it like just kind of tucked in. Yeah.
Like highlight when I was running to the school with the book.
Yeah, we're pretty much the same person.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you just kind of tuck it in and you run along. And then within a week, I think I was swinging my arms fully.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just did a lot of running.
That's cool.
And then she got me in a running race, didn't she?
Yeah. It was a running race.
Yeah. That's really cool about triathlon. If you are injured,
there are other things you can do, right?
But I guess the best way to get injured is like up about it.
Yeah, when I was running varsity cross country and stuff, I never wore a garment, so I have no idea of distance.
Oh.
But yeah, 100K is like, it's a pretty big week. Yeah,
that's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when I did my shoulder again this year, same kind of thing. Just went right back to running. Did a lot of running in Canada in the snow.
In the snow.
Yeah. Which wasn't the plan initially. I was supposed to go to Bath, but had to
ditched us.
Yeah. Had to kibosh that.
I hurt my shoulder.
Yeah.
Fine.
Whatever.
Yeah. Did you run lots of inner running?
Did I run lots?
Yeah, in the snow.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I did a lot of snowshoeing and cross country skiing, and a lot of running in the snow. I think it makes you strong, like an ox.
Yeah. Or injured. Or very injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plantar fascia. No, yeah, I've done because like up until 2017, I had spent winters in Canada.
Really?
Yeah. So like every year. I just...
So all winter did you run outside or did you do some treadmill? Or
yeah, ran outside.
No treadmill?
No, I hate treadmills.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm not a fan.
Suck.
Yeah, just ran outside.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's cool.
You just bundle up. You have like 300 jackets on.
300.
Yeah.
Must be like you in Slovakia though.
Yeah. Same thing. You just get it done. You don't even. I didn't even think about it.
But it's hard to running fast, you know.
Oh yeah, no intervals are
like do some sessions, you know.
Be like strong.
No, it's not about lungs. It's just like.
And we have like 13 pairs of pants on.
you feel really slow and sluggy. So.
Yeah, you don't want to look at your watch. Just, so Have you ever worn like we call them yak tracks, but like you put like spikes on your shoes.
Yeah.
In the snow. Yeah, we do that.
It's not for us, no.
It's proper.
Yeah, it's proper. It is proper. Just throw
Proper
them
winter
proper,
tires.
like for cross country, right?
Yeah, and you just go
Yeah.
outside. If it's icy, just get it done. You got your yak tracks on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Winter on a whole new level.
Definitely different. But I mean, yeah, like I said, I didn't.
I did lots of winters in the snow, and I think it's not as hard, like similar hard as to be in Leeds, like to be wet all the time, like 3 degrees, not too cold.
Yeah.
To be snowy, but pretty cold to get wet and really cold.
Yeah.
So I guess snow is nice. It's just like mentally, I feel always when it's snowing and I should get prepared for the race. It feels like I'm not doing still like the same training. I'm gonna do racing, you know.
Yeah.
Do you have the same feeling, like?
Yeah, it's definitely like a different feeling when you're like training in the snow.
In really cold weather.
Yeah, and it's cold, and I did a lot.
And you don't feel like you're gonna do triathlon, right?
No, not really. You just feel like you're getting ready for like an Ultraman.
Yeah, something
in
like
Arctic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, and it would always be funny because we would go down to Florida to race a lot.
Mm.
It's quite an easy flight for us, and you go from like running in the snow and biking inside, and it's like minus 15 outside, and then you go down to Florida, and you're like, oh my god, so that you could bike outside. And I don't know if you've ever experienced like when you're on a trainer for a long time, and then you bike on the road. It feels so weird.
Yeah, and you feel the wind on your legs,
and
right?
Yes.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, and you're like, what is happening? And you're wearing shorts.
And you feel so light, right?
And you look at your legs like, I didn't even remember my legs look like.
Yeah.
And
Really
yeah, very pale. And yeah, you feel so light. You have like, you don't have all the layers on. It's really cool. But it is. It's like, there's sort of a detachment because you're like in the Arctic and then you go and race and it's summertime, unless you're in Edmonton, and then it's a mixed bag.
Hit and hit.
Yeah. But no, it's cool. I mean, I think I didn't even think about it until 2017. Then I started spending winters in summery locations, and then now I've gotten very soft, and I like warm places. Yeah. And I don't know if I could do another full winter of training again.
Did you that much change? You see the benefits that brings the training in warm. Probably for me, from my experience, is less injury risk.
Definitely, yeah. You always come away with like little niggles and everything when you're training in the cold, and like you go to the
or a little bit ill, like cold,
exactly.
flu or something.
Yeah. No, I'm way too soft now. Couldn't do it anymore.
That is cool. How was your winters?
Well, not as extreme as either of you two. I guess I remember when I first moved to Leeds, because that's quite a bit further north in the UK than where I'm from.
You're in tropical.
I was in the tropical south, and then I moved to Leeds. Oh god, it's gonna be cold up here.
Arctic.
It's like Game of Thrones moving to north of the wall. And I remember being really worried about my first winter there and thinking that I was going to find it really hard. And we actually only did, I think, 10 days out of the UK all winter.
Yeah.
And I didn't care. I loved it. I thought it was great. I mean, I think a huge part of that was a new environment, new training group, and I was just thriving on that.
That thing, like, when everyone does it, like, you just need to go.
You just do it. And we didn't have much in the way of snow. We don't really get much snow in the UK anyway, but we didn't really have any that year. I said I did 10 days in Spain, I think, and that was it. Just spent the whole rest of the winter in the UK and I was fine. And I don't remember finding it that difficult. We always had a good group of people to go out riding with, which is, I think, always the hardest one when it's cold. But we just got it done. And I was in Leeds for 3 years, and every winter I think I spent virtually the whole winter in Leeds.
I think you did, if I good remember, you did more time in Leeds than us boys. Like, you were like, no, we stay here. Yeah. And we would go to Spain.
Yeah, because the boys have their house in Spain, so it made sense for them to go. But for us, we were just happy.
You would wait till January, I think. And
that's right. January we do 10 days or 2 weeks somewhere, and then the rest of the time we basically always be in Leeds, and it was fine. I mean, there was definitely 1 or 2 days where you wake up in the snow everywhere, and then you're thinking, okay, well the main roads will be okay. We can't go down any of the lanes, but the main roads will be cleared. So you start off on the main roads, but by the time you come back, it's all gone again, or the snow's gone. So it's not like proper snow. It's like little snow. So yeah, we just got it done, and I honestly didn't ever really think that I wasn't training very well there or struggling there. I think I actually did some of my most consistent winters there. But since that point, because of the way I guess the racing schedules worked, with Commonwealth Games being really early last year, we did a lot of the winter away just because we needed to be like really fit and ready to go in April. And then this year we decided to go on a camp because there was a national training camp happening in Stellenbosch where Joe came. And I think now we're feeling more and more that we kind of like that. I'm getting old and a bit soft and a bit creaky, and the warm weather does me good. And so I think I'll probably see out my career now doing at least a good chunk of my winters away.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying after my season to be at home till January. And since January, because if you're not training consistently from January till that's
it's
time
hard then.
then it's hard to compete in March or even February. I did some in February.
So you've got to be fit early these days.
Because it's starting from February till November.
It's a long
for
season.
some people.
If
for
you're
some
chasing,
not.
if you're chasing the points, it's a long year.
How is it looks like with your qualification? What you have to do, and how are you standing in the ranking right now?
So for Canada, we need 2 top 5s, or the equivalent of 2 top 5s at a few select races over the year. So one of them was Bermuda, and I came 3rd. So now to get the equivalent of a second top 5, I need to come 7th in either Tokyo, Lausanne, Bermuda next year, or Yokohama next year.
Nice.
So I've met half the criteria.
Yeah.
Olympic points and whatever is going well. And then I also really want to help qualify our relay team. And we're kind of like in that 8th, 9th position right now. So we need a few strong races in Tokyo and then Abu Dhabi next year. Yay! I'm gonna have to go back.
Don't crash.
You don't want to go there.
Especially always crashes and breaks her shoulder. I mean,
a part of me does, because I really want to I want to run. Just once in Abu Dhabi.
You will just go really slow. We'll put you like 2
stabilizers on the back.
That'd be perfect.
Just go through the tunnel.
She didn't even make it to the tunnel this year.
No.
First corner.
I think my Garmin said 49 seconds.
But I know I crashed as well. But the guy in front of me crashed. But anyway. I think I know which corner it was. Left turn. Right turn.
Left turn, right turn, one of those.
That one.
One was right and left. You
on the paving stones.
Yeah. It's really slippery.
So anyway, I might have the criteria for the Olympics. Need to. Sorry. Need to get the other one, and then I've ticked that box for automatic selection, and then there's discretionary and all that stuff. But,
good luck.
Thank
it looks
you.
very optimistic.
I feel optimistic. I mean, just good vibes. Just ready to go get after it.
Stay healthy.
For sure.
Don't break her something.
Not
yet. And then I'm giving her a chance to do it on her own. And then if she can't do it, then I'm coming in with the hammer.
You have to decide in the right time, right?
I did have to sign a contract that says Vicky has the right to break any of your bones at any time.
I mean, it was a weird clause, but put it in there anyway.
Joe, you need to run 200k a week.
We're up again as well.
How is it looks with you?
So my qualification this year is based around Tokyo, so that's coming up in just 2.5 weeks' time. I need to get on the podium to give myself automatic selection, and if I do that, that's done. If I don't, then there's still a chance they could choose me on discretion this year. I think I'd have to put in a really good performance and be, close to the podium for that to happen. I've not had probably my best season ever, so I've not got great results this year to back me up with that. And the strength of the British team means that I would have to do something, I think, pretty special in Tokyo, way and above the other girls to get selected outright this year if I wasn't on the podium. They can choose up to 2 people this year, and then after that it rolls on to next year, and I think it will likely be Yokohama again. So ideally I want to try and get myself selected, get my name on the team sheet this year, but if not, then we'll look to 2020 and go again.
I believe.
We believe. We all believe.
We believe. We do.
You have tough competition, right? In those days.
I know, it's unbelievable. I think the GB female team and probably the American female team are the 2 hardest female teams to make, and there will be, no matter who gets selected, there will be females who are easily good enough to go and could potentially podium on their day, who will not get to go to the Olympic Games, which is crazy. And it was the same for us in 2016 as well, where again we were 4 girls who any one of us could have podiumed on our day, and only 3 of us got to go.
Super strong team.
It's the blessing and the curse of being from such a strong country. And last year loads of people said to me after the grand final, you're going to be in Tokyo, and tell us about Tokyo. And I'm saying, whoa, like I've got to qualify first, and I already knew how hard that was going to be. I knew that with the likes of Georgia stepping up, she's just getting better and better every year. She's still maturing. She's going to keep getting better. I knew that she would be a force to be reckoned with. Jess has, I think, been on the podium more than any other Brit this year.
Wow.
Non's come back into some great form, showing what she's really capable of. I mean, we all knew it anyway, but she's had a couple of darker years, and then bang, here she is, she's back on form again. And then that's not even taking into consideration if they want to choose someone who's a relay athlete, who might be better just in the relay. So we've got some other girls, maybe some of the younger girls who are fast, and well, we've got someone like Sophie Caldwell who's very strong and powerful, but there's junior girls coming up, under 23 girls coming up as well, so nothing is taken for granted.
Big army.
There's a big army, and they're all after a spot, so I need to get myself one.
We'll wish you good luck.
Thank you.
If I can ask, why do you think you had such a such a bad year, but not
terrible,
not the best, compared to last year, even it was crazy to see last year. We were talking about it. You had no pressure. You would just race in, and you would perform from race to race to race, and it was incredible. But then, I think you didn't change anything. You didn't get injured. That shows also probably how high the competition in females also is. You're not on your best probably. That's what I see from my view. But you're close to your best, and you can't the same thing that you did last year. What do you think?
I think there's a few things that all play into it. The first one is I completely agree. I think the standard is going up every year, and that means if you're just a little bit off, then you get shown up. I think there are more girls now who are capable of getting on the podium, who are capable of running fast times and riding hard and then running fast times, and if you're not there, you're not at your best. You're not going to still just be able to fluke a podium result. That's not going to happen anymore. So that's, I think, probably the first thing to say. I think last year, without meaning to, ended up being kind of like the perfect season in that we put everything into racing the Commonwealth Games well. Got to Commonwealth Games in really good shape. Was a little bit disappointed because someone beat me. No, I'm joking. I was a little bit disappointed, but not because of Joe. I just didn't think I raced probably as well as I could have done. I think we didn't quite get it right for that race. But what that did mean is that I was really fit. So I was fitter than I'd probably ever been in April. And then I started going to World Series races in much better shape than I normally am at that time of year. And I've always been someone who tends to do better in the second half of the season than the first half of the season. But last year I was just so fit so early that I was able to go to Bermuda a couple of weeks after Commonwealth Games and come second. And then go to Leeds and win.
You didn't even want to go, right? You thought you wouldn't go to Bermuda.
I wasn't sure. I was thinking, I was like, I think I'll probably go, but I don't know. And then after Commonwealth Games I wasn't sure. Came home, decided, okay, I'm definitely going to go.
What a race.
Went there, had a great race on a course that I didn't really think would suit me, and the rest of the season just kind of snowballed really for me from there. So last year there's a huge element of confidence as well, that I think athletes have short memories, and if you're racing well, you're riding this wave, and if you're not racing well, it's like, how do I get out of this hole? Like, and it's not, the difference really is so minimal, but it feels huge. It feels absolutely huge.
Yeah, you can have the fitness there, but because the results looks bad, you suddenly think like, I'm shit.
Yeah, absolutely. And
then
really
you start
look at it,
and then it's rolling back against you, or opposite, like maybe you're not in such a good shape, but you perform, like result is good because the occasions and the events was happening, the race was going that way, and suddenly you build on that. So
I mean, a big example for me is that this year I ran my best ever time in Leeds, and I came 7th. Last year I won, and I ran about nearly a minute slower, but I won the race in Leeds last year off that. So that kind of shows like the difference from one year to the next, and it's easy to go, well, I was rubbish in Leeds this year, but actually that was a step forward for me on what I'd done earlier on in this year. And in previous seasons, like I said, I've always been someone who's very good at racing on one day. I'm not someone who's had multiple World Series podiums overall for the year. I've only ever done that once, and it was last year when I won. Mostly I kind of have relatively consistent results, but I get it right on 1 or 2 days a year. And I kind of, if I could choose, I would always choose to be that way. I never thought I'd be the world champion because I didn't think that I could race that high a level all year long. And with the Commonwealth Games, that kind of made that happen for me because I was so fit in April, and I didn't think I'd be able to hold that fitness until September, but I just about held on to it. But then this year, as much as I started the season thinking I want to try and retain that world title, and I absolutely did. I was definitely concentrating on trying to win the world title and trying to get the race in Tokyo, which I knew was really important for my qualification. But then very early on in the season, I realised, you know what, I'm just not there yet. We just haven't quite put in the work for me to be at that level. So by the time I raced in Bermuda, I'd already kind of gone, okay, well, season is now about Tokyo. World Series is gone, don't even think about it. And so for me, there's been no pressure on the World Series for me at all year. As much as I still want more. I'm still disappointed. I still want to be up there.
Because you compete and you see the people racing.
Yeah, and I see what I did last year.
Yeah, so you want to copy that.
Yeah, definitely. But at the same time, when I have my more practical, rational head on, I'm thinking that doesn't matter this year. This year, I'm trying to qualify for next year, and that happens on one day for me this year, and that happens in Tokyo. So if I don't do anything all season, but I won in Tokyo, then that's a massive success for me. So that's what we're trying to do.
So you will do that?
Oh, easy.
It's done.
It's done.
Let's just sign it off now.
Now,
take it.
Yeah.
What other races you're gonna have this year? What's your schedule?
So we're gonna head to Tokyo on Friday, or we're going to staging camp Tokyo. Lausanne, and then I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do after that yet. I might do a French Grand Prix.
And you go after Lausanne.
After Lausanne and
Quiberon,
and then not sure yet. Kind of just feeling it out. See where the energy's at. We're going to take a bit of an earlier break.
Can you race Super League? Do you go race in Super League?
I'm not sure yet. They're kind of trying to figure out all the contracts, and I don't think at this point that I would do the entire series, just because I want to take an earlier break than last year. Last year I finished in November, and that was
tough.
Hard.
February, November.
Yeah, definitely. And like
not too much time for
the difference in fitness.
Training and
February. Like the last.
I mean, I was trying to hold on till September, and you're like holding on another 2 months.
The last 3 months of my season, I called it vacation season. I spent a lot of time at all-inclusive hotels with really good breakfast buffets. So the downhill in Mallorca was amazing.
Then how?
Uphill, very painful. Yeah, it was actually Super League Mallorca was the first time ever. Maybe not the first time ever, but I breaststroked in the swim.
Really?
Yeah.
Why was that? If I can ask.
I was really tired.
Did you see Delphi?
It was after you'd already done like a swim bike run, hadn't you?
She
and then you got back in.
Yeah, definitely was
snorkeling. She does the snorkel.
No, it was So we did it was the weird order. I think we did run, bike, swim. And I had run and then I had biked with Katie, which was maybe not the best decision. And then I didn't really swim. I just floated, let the current bring me back in. And I think I still ended up finishing like last or something because I just everybody swam by me and there's nothing I could do.
Just swim brush.
Yeah, just looking at the turtles.
Turtles down.
Yeah.
No, it's just such a tough. Like I watch it from home, and that's like running to the water and then jump out and inside through the beach, through the sand, running up the hill. Oh man, it's just it was just hurting to watch.
Well, imagine honestly. That after 2 months of all inclusive, very little training.
In hindsight, that was the problem.
Vacation season. Yeah, it was like really cool racing. Yeah. Really painful.
But not the right time.
Not the right time. Yeah.
Fitness.
Yeah. Anyways, it's hard. It's hard racing. Like it's like unlike anything. And you like wanted to convince yourself it's really fun, but at the same time too, it's just like, why are we doing this?
Really hard.
Yeah. So I don't know about to really yet. Might do a World Cup. We'll see.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm gonna do obviously Tokyo, Lausanne, and then after that, possibly Bagnoles World Cup the weekend after. I haven't really raced very much this year, so I think I've only done 4 races so far. So I wanted to do a little bit more racing, but there's not a huge amount after Lausanne. Lausanne's early. And then there's Bagnoles the week after, but after that there's only World Cups outside of Europe.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if I want to do the travel. So I think I'll probably just do Bagnoles and then maybe even just finish then. If there was something convenient after that, then I'd do it, but I'm not sure what they'll be. Again, with Super League, if I was to race, I definitely wouldn't be doing the whole series. I know they really want people to commit to the whole series, and I totally understand why. So if I was to be sort of offered just to race the first round, then I would do that, but I couldn't at this point commit to doing the whole series. So I think I'll be finishing at some point in September. I just don't know exactly when.
I will wish you good luck, and I think I'm really happy for this podcast. You were amazing guest.
We've done a lot of talking.
We prepared all day for it, actually.
Yeah, we did. Warmed up my vocal cords.
You were a really great guest.
We know.
You're a great host, Richard.
I'll try my best, but you didn't need any host because you would do a great job without me anyway.
They say it's like 1% the host and like 99% the guest.
So.
It is true.
It is true. I think that was proven to be.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Richard, and good luck to you too.
See you later.